Good afternoon, Southwest Florida. I'm Bri Walling. This Naples Herald Lunch Break is sponsored by our friends at the Solo Kia of Cape Coral. This afternoon, we'll tell you about the remarkable story of a woman beating the odds after a horrific crash, a landmark deal announced between Japan and the EU, and more. Today is Tuesday, July 17th, and this is the Lunch Break. A woman who survived a 250-foot car plunge off a cliff was left stranded for a week on a remote California beach. Two beachcombers just happened to stumble across the Portland woman, 23-year-old Angela Hernandez, while scouting for a new spot to search for shells. Hernandez had been driving to her sister's home in Lancaster near LA on July 6th when a small animal crossed in front of her, causing her to swerve and lose control of her car. From there, her story is like something of a movie. She said she can only remember bits and pieces, like waking up still in her car as it continued to fill with water. She broke a window, swam ashore, and fell asleep on the beach. After she woke up, she realized what had happened and knew she had to get help soon. At high tide, there was no beach, and she would often wake up to waves crashing on her at night. Every day she hiked what she could, looking for higher ground, and by the third day made her way back to her wrecked car, found a 10-inch radiator hose, and eventually used it and her hands to collect water. Chad and Chelsea Moore said they had first come across the wrecked vehicle. Assuming no one would survive a crash like that, they decided to take a few items to turn over to the police or to give to surviving family members. They had no idea they would eventually find the driver, let alone alive. Chelsea Moore scaled the cliff back up to where she'd been camped, got some supplies, alerted who she needed, and returned to help Hernandez. She was eventually airlifted to the hospital, where she gave praise to her rescuers and reminded everyone how precious life is. The European Union and Japan signed a landmark deal that will eliminate nearly all tariffs on products they trade. The ambitious pact signed in Tokyo runs counter to President Trump's moves to hike tariffs on imports from many U.S. trading partners. It covers a third of the global economy and markets of more than 600 million people. Shinzo Abe, Japan's prime minister, said at a joint news conference that the EU and Japan showed an undeterred determination to lead the world as flag bearers for free trade. And European Council President Donald Tusk praised the deal as the largest bilateral trade deal ever. He said the partnership is being strengthened in various other areas, including defense, climate change, and human exchange, and is sending a clear message against protectionism. The leaders did not mention Trump by name, but they did little to mask what was on their minds, highlighting how Europe and Japan have been pushed closer by Trump's actions. The measures won't kick in right away and still require legislative approval, but they will bring Japanese consumers lower prices for European wines, pork, handbags, and pharmaceuticals, while Japan machinery parts, tea, and fish will become cheaper in Europe. It's getting more crowded around Jupiter. A team of astronomers is reporting the discovery of a dozen new moons circling the giant gas planet. That brings the number of moons around Jupiter to 79, the most of any planet. Saturn is next with 61. Telescopes in Chile, Hawaii, and Arizona were used for the discovery and confirmation. The astronomers were looking for objects on the fringes of the solar system when they spotted the Jupiter moons. The initial confirmation of 10 moons was announced today, while 2 others were confirmed earlier. They're calling one moon an oddball because of its unusual orbit. The scientists say the moons weren't seen before because they are tiny. The biggest ones are only about 2 miles across. And that was a lunch break for today. I'm Bri Walling. For your twice daily news fix, head over to the Naples Herald YouTube channel and subscribe. Leave us a comment to let us know your thoughts on the news or what you'd like to hear about. The lunch break airs Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. right here at naplesherald.com. And don't forget to check out our morning report that also airs Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.